Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Are we live? All right. We're still like 11:15 here in Chicago, but it's 7:15 in Eretz Yisrael. A Gemar Chasim, a Toivet to everybody watching in Eretz Yisrael. Unbelievable. Erev Yom Kippur. Today's shir is sponsored. And Lilu Nishmas Bitzot Mordechai ben Avram, who died during Kol Nidre. Unbelievable. In 1922, Pennsylvania. You guys know what it is? Panovich, what's wrong with you guys? A Musmach of Reb Shmuel Rosenberg from Hundorf Nitre Yeshivas, his almana, my grandmother, understood, you can and raise 7 Yisraelim with many hundreds of offspring teaching and learning Torah in Eretz Yisrael in America. Official, entirely gross. Once again by our great friend Yuval Kavosh in memory of Ferdes Chaya Bat Esther V. Chizkiah. All right, Rabbi Sai. It's Erev Yom Kippur, and I just want to say over from the Chofetz Chaim and tie it in just a few minutes. The Chofetz Chaim, when he gave his y'all again with the water, unbelievable. Shkoyach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh b'dvaroi. Again, we're stuck at 99 people and over 100. There might be a problem. 101. Very good. Okay, as we spoke. So the Chofetz Chaim says, he said at a drasha called Nidre, a very, very short drasha and a very simple one. Hold on, everybody's in Zoom. We're having issues with the internet in this building. So, Shalom Aleichem. Well, you watched the shir also? You're one of those guys? Gewaldig. Very nice. Okay, Yishkoyach. We have connection. So, the point is that we have to be milamet zchus on Klal Yisrael. Milamet zchus wherever we can. It's our job. Milamet zchus. That's what the Chofetz Chaim was trying to tell the Kehillah. That's what Be'ezer Hashem. Says the Gemara. We're holding Daf Mem Ches on the base towards the bottom. Today's Daf Mem Tes. All right, real quickly. We have this case of 3 chatzeros. Rabbi Sai, let's take it down a level. Let's concentrate here. The oil is not used to it in Chicago. We have to give them new chinuch. We have 3 chatzeros. The outer one did a eruv with the inner one. The outer one did an eruv with the inner one. But the outer ones did not do an eruv with each other. Therefore, Omer Rav Yehuda, Omer Rav Zudiv Reb Shimon, that the inner guy has access to the outer guys, and the outer guys to the inner guys, but not the outer guys to each other. So Rav says, Zu Divrei Reb Shimon, Ava Chachamim Moirim Shus Achas Mishameshes. Okay. According to Rav, we have these green arrows. Reb Shimon says there's access from the center to the side, from the center to the side, from the side to the center, but you cannot go all the way around. You can't go from the sides to each other. Abba Chachamim Oimrim Reshus Achas Mishameshes L'Shtei Reshuyos Avaloi Shtei Reshuyos Mishamshois L'Reshus Achas. Say Chachamim, you could go from the side to the center, but not from the center to the side. Why? Because it's impossible to be in 2 places at the same time. You can't own 2 different places. You either own to the right or you own to the left. So the center guy, he's limited to 0. He cannot go to the sides. But since the side guys didn't eruv with the center, they could go to the side. So you see how it is? It's red this way, it's green this way. Green this way, red this way. Okay? The middle guy cannot go to the sides. According to Rav. Nachamal. So according to Rav in Reb Shimon, you have access from the center to the side and from the side to the center. Just you can't go from side to side. And according to Chachamim, you're limited in one direction. You can go from the center to the side, from the side to the center, but not from the center to the side. Why? Again, because the guy in the middle, he cannot make two eruvs. He has one shvisa, one makom that he does, and that's it. Either to this way or this way. Since he did two eruvim, he can't go either way.
I mean, now he can hear us.
I could hear you, yeah.
Yeah, you were on mute.
Oh boy.
We were telling you that people could watch perfectly on Kol HaLashon. You're jumping up and down, changing stuff.
We don't care about Kol HaLashon, we care about YouTube, Avi, because over 1,000 people watch it on YouTube. So what good does Kol HaLashon do for me? But okay, but thanks. And also people can watch it on Telegram, but you know what? There's 15,000 people that watch it on WhatsApp. So we'll talk about that later. I understand your shita, but it's a little, whatever. Shem Yerachim. Okay, we'll talk about it later, Avi. It's great. Anyway,
Get a little closer to you in about 5 seconds.
who?
You know, Bergman, to get a little closer to you in 5 seconds. Sit on your lap.
The guys in Chicago liked your joke. Okay, I don't know why. So that's Rav Shita. Now comes Shmuel and says something else. In other words, according to Wamshad and Rashi, we're doing a slide down. What you thought is Chachamim, in fact, that's Reb Shimon. And Chachamim are going to go one step even lower. So what do we say? Chachamim said that the center guy can't go to the sides, but the sides could go to the center. That became Reb Shimon Shita. A second ago, Reb Shimon said he has access to them, they have access to him. Now he's limiting. According to Shmuel, no. Reb Shimon became Chachamim. And Chachamim, they say no one has access to anyone. Everybody was oyser on each other. Chachamim, oimrim, shloshan asuros, it's all osir. They made a big balagan here, and therefore everybody's osir. Tani Kabbalah say the Rabbi Yehuda Ali b'der Shmuel. So now we have a good raya according to Shmuel. Omer Reb Shimon, lemad avadoyma l'shalish chatzeres upsuches zu zu upsuches l'shus harabim. That's our case. We have 3 chatzeres, 1, 2, 3, open to each other. There's wall. You see entrances, and here's the Rishus Harabim down here. They're all open to the Rishus Harabim. It's good. So far, so good. Let's do it quickly before it goes off. 2 guys on the side made an eruv with the middle. Zu mevim etach beisa v'cheles, zu mevim etach beisa v'cheles. So check this out. What does it say here? Zu mevia. This one could carry this way. This one could carry this way. And there's no mention what the middle guy could do. It doesn't say that the middle guy could go either direction. It doesn't talk about the middle guy. Why? What does that mean to us? That the middle guy is also, he can't go anywhere. It doesn't mention, oh, that's not a good idea that you're on that table because you're moving the YouTube. So you have to go to that table, Here, you'll show him. Yosef, show him where he can sit. Notice I don't see you. I need to see you. Says the Gemara, Zuma Chazer is Zuma Vimatuch Beisa Vechels. Zuma Chazeres Moisor Beisa. Zuma Chazeres Moisor Beisa. Anyway, the guy on the side can do whatever he wants. He goes this way, that way. That's the guy on the side. The guy in the middle has no right to go either direction. Avo Chachamim Oimrim Shloshton Asuros. You see Chachamim? All red. You can't go in any direction. Not the middle guy to the side, and not the side guy to the middle guy. Says the Gemara of Shmuel Tamei, and this makes a lot of sense. Domer Shmuel. Chotzer shebein shnei mavos. Here we go. Beautiful picture. This is from the Oiz V'Hadar. I'm back to printing large format. Not because I like it, just I don't know how to do the small format. It barely fits into the screen. No, it's good. It's good stuff. Now, this case and this case are almost identical. The difference is this is all Chatzeris 1, 2, 3, and this we have a Mavi on this side and a Mavi on this side and a Chatzer in the center. The idea is the same, and that's why it will be a very good raya to what we just said. If the Chatzer is sandwiched between a Mavi on each side, if the guy, the Chatzer, made an Eruv with both Mavuis, Asurim Shneim. That's what we're talking about. That if you try to jump on two chasanas, he tried to make an Erev with two places, neither of them work. Asurim Shneim, he can't carry anywhere. Lo Yerim Shneim, but if he didn't make an Erev at all, Oiseres al Shneim. Now you have a guy in here, in the center of the whole situation, that didn't make an Erev, so everybody's awesome. Let's say this guy used to go to the right. This chutzner always used to use this mavoi on the right. Never, let's say here in Chicago, nobody ever uses alleys. Let's call this an alley. This alley, nobody likes to use this alley. It's very dark and scary. So no, there's a regila and a not regila. Bechad and regila. Zesh regila by asur, zesh and regila by mutar. The one that he's used to going in is asur. Zesh and regila by mutar. Omar Ravuna Irva im she'en regila by. Very interesting halacha. What if he made an eruv with the one he's not used to going through? Hutar regila la'atzmai. So he made an eruv to the left. He's allowed to. The only way, how can you carry in a chutzner like this? If he makes one eruv with one of the mavus. As soon as he makes two eruvin, you can't dance on two chasanas, he gets nothing. So the best idea to make it is Hutar regila la'atzmai. That's fine. Just because he uses it, today he decides to make an eruv with the one he doesn't use. So the one that he uses on the right, it's on its own. Let's say these guys on the right, they made an eruv by themselves. And the guy on the left, all the guys on the left did not make an eruv. And the chutzner in the middle didn't make an eruv. So you tell the chutzner, you are part of the bad guys. The guys that didn't make eruv. You didn't make an eruv, they didn't make an eruv. You're all in the same category. Don't ruin the eruv that was made on the right side. Yes, I know you like to use this mavoi, but for today, don't use it. What is that called, says the Gemara? A major yisod in Yiddishkeit. Koifin al midas sedoim. Don't be a Russia. They made an eruv, they want to use it. You don't need it right now. You pretend you use this mavoi on the left. Let them be. What's koifin al midas sedoim? In general, if a person doesn't lose out from helping, then we force him to help. That's a Yid. And that's the point I want to make with the Chofetz Chaim. We as Yidden, we should be very proud because we are tremendous in giving tzedakah, in giving. All the organizations, Hatzalah, Ezer Mitzion, and countless organizations. We give and we give and we give. And if we don't want to give, when we can give, koifin al midas daim. It's a big yisod. Koifin al midas daim. So that's to be yotzeh what the Chofetz Chaim said. It's a mitzvah today, Erev Yom Kippur, to give shvach to Klal Yisrael, to find the good in Klal Yisrael where it is. And here's a tremendous, very easy to do. Which other nation gives 10% of their income or 20% of their income? A chaimish, a lot of people give. Just give. And besides, all the time and the effort that people give and give to others. It's unbelievable. Because Baruch Hu, look at us and see what we do. We're Gerim. We're all Gerim. And yet we... All right. This idea, Reb Brevda said once, he spoke to an accountant that worked for a non-Yid. A very, very wealthy person. And he told her, he said, I don't understand. You earn so much that if you give, it won't even cost you anything. With all the tax deductions and everything, you're able to give. You won't notice it. And she said, I only give when I'm forced to give, when the IRS comes or whatever. But stam to give, even though it's not going to cost you, not something I do. No. Koifin al midas daim. If it doesn't cost you, we make you do it. So in this case, so going back to our Gemara in this case, these guys made eruv, this guy didn't make eruv, we take the center guy and push him to the bad guys. And we say, don't bother the guys over here, let them do their thing. Koifin al midas daim. Stam to be a Russia, we don't allow. Omer Avidam Shmuel. So now Shmuel says two halachas. Halacha number one, hamakpid alei. In other words, he has a suda. I take a piece of bread from you, put it in the center, and one guy says, I don't allow anybody to touch my bread. He ruined the eruv. Eini ruve eruv. What's an eruv? Mashmoy. What does eruv mean? Eruv shmoy. It means we're all together in this. We put it together. And if you're going to if I don't allow you to be together with me, that's not an Eruv. Rabbi Chanina Amar, Eruvei Eruv. It is a good Eruv. El Shenikrim Anshe Vardina. These are the stingy guys, the guys that make a bad name for everybody. Klai Yisrael, they're generally large. Omer Rav Yudam Shmuel. Oh, I should let that go. Just I'll lower the volume. Okay. So halacha number 1 is, remember Rabbi Isai Hamakbid, somebody that doesn't let you use his Eruv. Halacha number 2, Amar Shmuel, or Rav Yudam Shmuel. Hachoylek is Eruvoi in Eruv. You take your challah, divide it down the middle, put one half in this drawer, another half somewhere else. In Eruv. It's not Eruv. Keman ki b'shamai. That goes according to Bishamai. The Sanya, as we had before, Chamisha Shgovus Eruvon Udensnu B'shnei Kelim. 5 people that are part of an Eruv, and they put it into 2 vessels. Bishamai Orim and Eruv. So according to Bishamai, what this guy just did is Choylik his Eruv. It's not a good Eruv. Ubeisil Orim Harei Eruv. It is a good Eruv. Says the Gemara, Afilu Tema Beisilel. That's not very good to say that, like we said yesterday, that the pshat goes according to Bishamai, when everybody knows we passing like Beisilel and everything has to be according to Beisilel. Akan loika amri Beisilel some elo demalion lemona. Oh, everything's there. Great. You guys could see the Eli Nishmas? Not really? I don't see it by me. Oh. YouTube could see it?
Yeah.
The Zoomers don't matter. Okay, fine. There's only 111 people on anyway. And I don't know if official's on even, so it doesn't matter. As long as official, don't tell official. Okay. You'll see it on YouTube, that's it. Says Gemara, Afilu Tema Bisil. This could go according to Bisil, and then the Pshat fits in beautifully. Akel Gamer Bisil Hosom, Elo Demalian Lemona Veyater. When did Bisil say it is a good Eruv when you put it into 2 kelim? When he tried to stuff it into a bag, it didn't fit into the bag, so he took another one. If he's going to lechatchila, divide his Eruv, separate it, put it in 2 different places, Bisil doesn't allow it. Why does Shmuel have to say 2 halachas that are very much the same? A person that's makbid on his Eruv, and a person that divides his Eruv into 2. If a person says specifically, I don't allow, but over here, he's not makbid on the 2 pieces. He divided it in half. He ruined it. 50-50 is not the same thing as 100. But when he's just makbid, Lamaisi put a whole challah there, a whole suda, so he says nobody can eat it. No, that's why I need both cases. In a place that you make wine, in a winery, the Bei Rav Zakai. Does Shmuel actually say that if you divide your Eruv in half, it's not an Eruv? Amar Shmuel, it's a pass. Oh. So Rabbi says, stop for a second, think about this for a second. What would you say? If I tell you that halacha is, we're 5 guys, we're getting together to make Eruv, you all put into my house. 4 sudais, you put into my 5th house. And I don't have to be part of it. Why? What would you say? What's the reason? Oh, who else? Anybody? He says because they're going to eat it in my house. Anybody else? So Gemara understands. I like what you're saying pretty much. That's basically the maskana maybe. But Gemara understands that the reason is because I have bread in my house. It's in a different drawer. So I already have it over there. We're all going to take your bread, put it in drawer number 1. My bread happens to be in drawer number 2. And therefore, you see this idea that the bread doesn't have to be in one place. And the Gemara is going to say, no, it's like a different svara. My time, the kivin the manach besala, kiman the manach chachadami, because it's in my bread drawer. I don't have to take it out of my bread drawer and put it in the drawer of the Eruv that everybody else put. It's there. No, so it's a good raya that it doesn't have to be in the same place. No, that's not the pshat. Pass, like Andrew was saying. You don't need bread. If you own the house, you don't need to be mishtatev at all. You don't have to provide a meal. Why? Because you're providing the house. You are there. You live there. It's like Beraglov. What better thing is I'm over here. In order for you to be part of my house and be a shut of my house, you bring a meal to me, but I don't have to bring a meal. It is my house. Okay. You don't need bread. Everybody comes and lives by me. Omer Shmuel, here's a beautiful machlokes. What does an Eruv accomplish? Shmuel says, Eruv Mishum Kinyan. We all have ownership in this property. How? By all putting in a meal, we're all part of this Eruv. So it's a Kinyan. It's an ownership. So if it's an ownership, money is the best way to buy into something. So why is it if someone gives me $1, he doesn't become part of my Eruv? But if he gives me a challah, then he becomes part of it. Isn't money better? Says the Gemara, can you imagine in those days especially? You made a salary on Friday, and then you took your money and you bought whatever you need for the whole week. So by the time Eruv time comes around, you don't have a penny to put into the pushka, into the Eruv. You don't have the money. It's not matzi that people should have the money. So Mela, I say do it with bread. Nu hech Eruv milikni. But let's say I do have. I saved. I have 25 cents. I could afford it. I'm going to put in the Eruv. Should it work? Once I allow you to use cash, then people will say, oh, cash rules, cash is king. But the other guy won't have the cash. He'll forget that you can do it with the bread. He'll think, oh, it makes a lot of sense. You need money. I don't have money today. I'm not making an Eruv. And people forget about the whole bread thing. Rabbi Amar, Eruv mishum dira. No, Eruv is not ownership. Eruv is to reside, to live here. How do you reside and live here? Through bread. My benayu. So what is the difference if I hold that an Eruv is a kinyan, I acquired something, now I have ownership, or I reside here? Iki benayu kli. The difference is, if I use a sudar, like at a chasana, I pick up a yarmulke, a handkerchief, I go like this, kinyan sudar. So, if I hold it's a kinyan, I could go like this, with a handkerchief. But if I hold it's to reside, nobody lives with a handkerchief. You don't consider, he lives in this house. You know why? Because he has a handkerchief. That doesn't. If he has a meal here, then he resides here. So it's a big difference. If I hold that it's a dira, then a handkerchief doesn't work. If I hold it's a kinyan, then it does work. Says the Gemara, what else? Upachas mishava pruta. Now, if I could afford 2 meals with less than a pruta, so great. I have 2 meals. I don't care how much it costs me. You could go into the dollar store, whatever, and buy like a pretty nice suda there, I guess. I don't know, like a lot of candy. And that's your suda. It costs you less than a pruta, let's say. But you can't necessarily do a kinyan with less than a pruta. You can't do a kinyan with less than a pruta. And now we're turning to Daf Amud Beis, sponsored by Mark Steinberg. Schus Shidduch for his son, Yitzchak Pesach Yehuda ben Meir Yosef. Mark, are you here?
Right here.
Why is your name Mark and not Meir Yosef?
Good question.
Should we do a Shini Hashem right now and then? And sponsored by Anonymous, Hatzlacha, in Yiddishkeit, and a schus for his family to be Torah Yidden. Oh, and a katan. Smacking. The other thing is a katan. A katan, okay. No, that's like, it's like, I'll start Daf Yomi tomorrow. No. Right now, we're starting today. I met 3 people. Yeah, I'm gonna join your shir. When's the next Masechta? No. Today. Meir Yosef, today. Anyways, the katan and a katan. So a katan could bring a meal from here to there, but he can't do a kinyan, so therefore there's enough gemina. Abai tells Rabbah. Lididach, catch it. So if you didn't catch it, we're holding enough memtesam with the base on the top. Lididach, kashu, l'shmul kashu. We have a problem either way you learn. Hatanya, chamisha shegovus Eruvin. You have 5 guys that made an Eruv, but now they decide they want to add another chutzner to the whole mix. They want to play ball. They want the kids to be able to drezach by the other guy, the guy on the other side. So what do? When they want to bring it to the next guy, one does it for everybody. So he asks him, Abai asks, one guy should make the kinyan and nobody else. Whether you hold that a Eruv is a kinyan, how could one guy make a kinyan for everybody else? And whether you hold it's to reside, how is one guy residing for all his buddies? No. What's the obvious answer? Shlichus. He's just an agent. He's not residing for them. They asked him to do it, so he's doing it for them. You can make a kinyan for 5 people, you can make a kinyan for 500 people. What's the problem? So, this is a trick question. Let's see if you guys know the answer. We had 2 pshatim, what the machloek is between Reb Shimon and Chachamim. Either, according to Reb Shimon, you could go, the middle guy cannot go to the side, but the side guys could go to the middle. Or, according to Reb Shimon, the middle guy could go to the side and the side go to the middle, and Chachamim. So, the Gemara now says, by the way, halacha ki Reb Shimon. Which one of these? Reb Shimon who says that the middle guy cannot go to the side guys, or the Reb Shimon that says the middle guy could go to the sides? Which one? It doesn't say in the Gemara. It does say in the Gemara. Because it says Amar Rav. Rav is the one that says this pshat. The Reb Shimon says you can go both ways. So according to Rav, I like this Reb Shimon. What Shmuel says, I don't know. Says the Elegant Mishnah. Mi shabab aderech v'chosh chaloi. Guy was walking, he's trying to get to a city, and unfortunately, the sun went down on him. He knows of a tree. He's very familiar with the route. And he knows that up there ahead, there's a tree. So he's going to say, his trick is, he's going to say, oh, I reside by that tree. Now from that tree, he just hops to the city because that tree is 2,000 amas away from the city. But from where he's at right now, the city is further than 2,000 amas, so he won't be able to make it there. We're talking about a very large tree, 8 amma tree, 16 feet, not so big, you know. Any typical tree here is larger than that. The problem is, as we understand from the Mishnah, there's a way to do it. Let's just read the next line, then we'll understand why this didn't work. However, if he says Shvisasi bi'ikarai, mahalech memokim raglo v'adikorei al payim amo. If he says, he specifies where he wants to be. The problem is that he didn't specify. Since the tree is 8 amos, perhaps he meant the 8 amos closest to him of the tree, or perhaps he meant the 8 amos that are closest to the city. So we don't know. So since we don't know, he doesn't get anything. If he doesn't get anything, we'll see in the Gemara what it means exactly. Well, let's just say he only gets now 4 amos. He's stuck because his Eruv meant nothing. However, if he says specifically, I want the bark of the tree, I want the actual tree. I don't want the shade on the other side of the tree. I don't want the shade on this side. I want the actual tree. Oh, so now he's specified. So now that's his residence, and from there on he could go to the city, 2,000 amma. Says the Gemara, you guys don't have to go to Slichas today. What? It's only 2 minutes. You know, you're gonna skip shir for 2 minutes. You already missed it anyway. All right, next. He goes from where he is till the tree, 2,000 amma. And from the tree, therefore, this Eruv is the perfect Eruv. The most you can get out of Eruv is basically you. What's the word? No, I forgot the word. It's right here. Anyway, not switch. I had it. It just split. Anyway, you take your residence where you are right now, and you move it over 2,000 amma in the future by that tree. And from the tree, your 2,000 amma starts again. No, but you shift. That's what I want. That's all I want to say. Shift. You shift your residence. You're right here, but you shifted halachically to over here, further down the line, and then from there you can walk 2,000. You're only allowed 2,000 amas on Shabbos. But from where you live, and I don't live where I am right now, I live under that tree. If I could specify a part of that tree, then I'm good. If you are what we like to call an Amma Ritz, and you don't know halacha, or you don't know the route, you don't know anything about a tree, and he says, okay, so at least where I am should be my shvisa. I'm taking up residence right here. Taisus points out on the spot, you don't have to say v'aymerit the belay amir. Now you don't have to say v'amar shvisasi. You just have in mind that this is where you are. Okay. So you take a string, you pitch it exactly where you are, and you go around in a big circle. You have 2,000 amas in a circle. Yeah? Could you see? 2,000 amas in a circle. The blue. But we never understood the round. We understood the square. You guys see the red, the pink that I did over here? What's the nafkamina? Because in Gemara math, which is similar to Panovich math, you get 1.4. So if this is 10 amas, let's say, so from corner to corner is 14. So what happens is now you have 800 amas extra because you get the corner. From the circle to 1,800 amas. You get 0.4 more. 0.4 is 800 amas, right? For every 1,000 you get 400 amas. So now they have 2,000 amas, you get 800 amas. So you get from the center to the corner, 2,800 amas. We thought you have 2,000 amas. Yes, you have 2,000 amas from the guy to the flat surface. To these points is 2,000. But to the corner, you get an extra 800 amas. Where Rabbi Benedictus says you only get exactly 2,000 amas in all directions in a circle. Merubais ketavla merubas, like a square. Kadeshia niskar lazoviyos, so that you can benefit from the corners past the circle. Now, we're going back. And we actually had this word for word. A lot of this chazar is unbelievable. A poor person, meaning someone who doesn't have bread, he's traveling, so he makes an eruv with his feet, meaning with himself. He himself is the eruv. Omer Meir. Only someone who doesn't have any bread. You can have as much food as you want. You could say specifically, I'm making an eruv with myself. I don't need bread. What better way to make an eruv than me residing somewhere and saying that's the eruv? So why do they make bread? Somebody could afford it and send a messenger out that a guy could send someone, his kid, out to the desert and say, take this roll and make my residence over there through the roll. But you yourself going out to the desert and putting yourself there, it's even better. Says the Gemara, just a short little sugi here, till the bottom. When a person says, I want to reside under the tree, but it doesn't specify what part of the tree, the front part of the tree, the back part of the tree, he didn't accomplish anything. Zero. He can't go to any part of the tree. In fact, he can't go anywhere. He cannot move. Why? Because he didn't make an eruv. So he only has his 4 amas that a person has. Why? Because he didn't, if he wouldn't have said anything, so he could go where? 2,000 in every direction. But he messed it up. He said, I want to go over there. I'm residing by the tree. And the tree doesn't work. So he He's bald from both ends. He can't move from here because that's not his Eruv. What he intended to make the Eruv by the tree, but the tree didn't work because he didn't specify where. He gets 0. He gets 4 amas like any other person. This is going to be beautiful. He cannot go all the way home. Okay, so it's not as, I know you're rushing to slichas here, but hold on a second. Rabbi said what's going on is as follows. You got to see this chart. It's very important. You have a little guy over here. I don't know if you can see it. He's right over here, a little guy. Nah, I didn't make the guy. I would have made him larger. There's a house over here, and there's a tree in the center. There's 4,000 amas from this guy to the house, but exactly 4 amas from the guy to the house. And we don't know what part of the tree. The other side of the tree closer to the house, or the part of the tree closer to him. Says the Gemara, unbelievable. This guy, let's say, worst case scenario is, if he would have made the Eruv on the other side of the tree, then he has 2,000 amas from the red line to the house. He can make it there, no problem. But we don't know that he made the Eruv on the red line. Maybe he made the Eruv on the blue line, the part of the tree closer to him. From that line to the house is more than 2,000 amas. So what could this guy do? He could walk to the house and he has to stop short 5 feet in front of his door, and he cannot walk in.
Why don't we say he meant the part of the...
Hold on. Let me just finish it clear so everybody understands it. It's very, very important. It's a beautiful sugya. Let's just say that there's no Eruv in front of his house. They can't bring out a bed for him. They can't bring out food for him. He's stuck in the sun. He might be better off to just stay by the tree. He cannot go home. It's awesome for him to go home. He has to stop short the exact distance of whatever this tree is. 5-10 feet from his house, and that's it. Why? Because perhaps his Eruv was on the blue line in front of the tree. And from in front of the tree to the house is more than 2,000 amas. But perhaps his Eruv is on the red line. And what does that do? Not that he can go home, because we have to be choshish that perhaps his Eruv is on the blue line. It ruins it that he cannot go backwards, back to his hotel where he started out. He can't go this way. You see, I made a blue line over here. There's another blue line. He cannot go to this blue line. He can't go from the red where he's standing backwards even 1 inch. Why? Because maybe the Eruv is on the other side of the tree. And from the other side of the tree to where he's at is 2,000 amas. 1 step in the opposite direction where he started out from, going this way to the hotel, is more than 2,000 amas. So he's stuck. What is that called? I got to use this picture again because it's the only picture I bought in Masechtas Eruvin. Chamar Gamel. He's stuck between a camel and a donkey. He can only go from here to here, but he can't go back to his hotel this way, and he can't go to his house that way. He's pashat stuck. Let's see it inside, and that's it for today. You can't get to his house. He could go to the bottom of the tree, and I'm telling you, he could even go, says Rashi, all the way to his house, almost 5 feet before his house and stop. And the tree becomes chamor gamol. Chamor gamol, not a chamor gamol. Chamor, the guy that leads, goes behind the donkey, but leads the camel. You know, he's stuck between a camel and a donkey. If you see in this thing, it says soften over here. If he wants to, they say no. You got to measure this way from the blue line. In other words, I cannot get to my house because from the blue line to my house is more than 2,000 amas. So I'm machmer. And okay, you know what? You want to use the blue line? Okay, I'm going back to my hotel. No. Then we'll say, no, you got to use the red line now. And from the red line to the hotel is more than 2,000 amas. You got to stop short where you are. You can't go backwards this way. Rabbi say, Gemar Chasima Toiva, a good Geben Shior, your tefillah should be in a skabel, your tshuva should be in a skabel. Have me in mind. that she could be able to get back there just for one day in this coming year. And Stam is like, if anybody has the heart, chesed, do chesed with me, daven for me, for my mishpacha, my son should get engaged, and Reb Mark's son should get engaged, and all the girls that don't have shidduchim, they should all get engaged, and we should all hear from Refuas, and Atzlacha, and Parnasa, and a year of Daf Yomi, of Torah, every single day. Gemar Chasima, Toiva Gut Geben Shiar. Tomorrow, if you are in Eretz Yisrael, this is not for you. Eretz Yisrael will have a shir at the regular time at 9 o'clock, pre-recorded. Tomorrow morning, Be'ez Hashem, here in Chicago, 11:15, right here. Be'ez Hashem will get this internet up and running. And I'll see you tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem, at 11:15, right here, which is the Motzei Shabbos Daf, Motzei Yom Kippur Daf. Have a wonderful fast, Rabbi Say, a meaningful fast. Gemar Chasim and Toiv, Gut Geben Shiar. Hold on, let me speak to these guys, y'all. What? Yeah.
So once he gets to his house, he's allowed everything in the house, or is he stuck like at the front of the house?
No, if he gets to his house, you're allowed to go wherever you want. No, that we learned. A house is Dalet Amas. Doesn't matter how big the house is, the whole entire thing is one rishus.
Would that include a yard space also?
Turn off YouTube. Okay, yeah, hold on. Here, I'll do it. Yosef is saying, tell him.
I got a bunch of editing to do.
Shia,